There's my intro music. Making it all nice and pretty today. Woo! How you like the new setup? You like it? These are some, let me turn it down because sometimes if I talk over the music, my voice gets all garbled. But it's back. Today I feel like listening to it. Had a long day. Got audio issues coming for you tonight. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. It's the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. This is Phil, and Pete might be here because he's having some audio issues trying to connect to the live tonight. And we got Anthony McGrue, who's going to be here tonight from San Francisco. Guys, he's been living in Brazil for the longest, 21 years this year. So we're going to be talking to him about how we got to Brazil, you know, what drew him to the country, and the places he has been, the things he has done, where he is now. And I met him personally. I love this man. Really, 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 really sweet guy. So you guys are going to have fun. Just that, I'm going to give you a warning. You know, like we say, welcome to Brazil. Welcome to the Brazil Internet Show, the Brazil Crappy Internet Show. So please be aware that his connection is not the greatest. So he's actually called me on WhatsApp. So he's on the WhatsApp. He's not in the studio with me. And what's going to happen is this, like I'm going to talk a little bit and then I'm getting a really bad feedback. So as I talk to him, you know, or as I'm talking right now, I have him on mute and then I'll just stop talking and then he's going to take over, you know, and just tell you a little bit about himself. I'll try to cut back in, but we can't really talk too much over each other and stuff like that because of the feedback. So it might be a little staccato tonight, but bear with us because it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But before we get going, I do want to tell you, this past weekend, I hosted a ballroom event down here in São Paulo. For those that don't know, ballroom, voguing, Paris is burning, way back in the day shit. Real fun. Go on Phil Ray OFC. I got some stuff that I'm going to be posting there, and Conexão 337 page, and you'll see some footage. And like I said, I've been doing a little bit better with posting on shorts. So I'll probably have a little montage shorts of all the folks that were dancing and doing their voguing in their old way and new way and this way. And it was a whole lot of fun. And finally, I got to say, because I always forget, like and subscribe if you really enjoy this show, which, you know, I'm working really hard to try to keep it constant and maybe make it even something bigger moving forward, you know, talking about these transitions in life. And I really need your guys' support for that. I do thank everybody that subscribe to the channel the last couple days, you know, because I've been gone for a while, and YouTube, any of these social media things do not help you if you're not consistent. Consistency is the key. And I haven't been able to be as consistent as I would like. And, you know, I lose audience because of that. So I'm glad to see that, hey, not only do I have some of the old folks back, I'm gaining a few new subscribers. And let's get past 100, or not 100, 1,000. I remember when this page had like 100 or like 50 subscribers forever. And I'm like close to 1,000. I'm like, damn, I don't know 1,000 people. So it's cool. You know, it's cool when I see that you guys are out there listening, because we do have this kind of a cool bond as these people that travel. But enough about me. You know, I told you I'm here with Anthony, so I'm going to unmute him. I'll get him out of the corner. He's sitting in the corner right now. He's been a bad boy. I'm going to get him here, let you know a little bit. So, Anthony, prepare for the first question here, and I'm going to hand it over to you, and which is, what drew you to Brazil? That's the first question I always ask the new guests on the show, is what made Brazil get into your mind back in the day? So, Anthony, say hi to the folks. I'm getting you on right now. 3, 2, 1. You there?
Yes.
Floor is yours.
Okay. You can ask me a question.
Oh, you didn't hear me? I think I had muted myself and not you. Oh my God, guys, technology. I'm really good. I did a whole intro on you Anyway, what I asked Anthony is what drew you to Brazil? What brought you here to Brazil? Okay, so the floor is yours on that one. Guys, you can hear the feedback, right?
Okay. Well, originally my plan was to retire outside of the United States, and it was going to be Costa Rica, and then I got turned on to Brazil, and I chose Brazil. I wasn't planning on moving here in 2004. Excuse me. That just kind of happened that way. I was originally going to buy something in Rio and rent it out until I got to my retirement age and rent it out during that interim.
But how long ago was this? I'm sorry. How long ago was this?
It was in 2004.
Okay, 2004. But you said originally you were in Costa Rica, and then like what kind of shifted you in this direction?
Well, I had only read up on Costa Rica. I had never visited. I had never been there.
I see,
and
but then what made Rio the thing though to plan it with?
Well, at that time, I think it was the value of the dollar, pretty much, as it is now. So I looked at it as a good place for retirement because retirement dollars would go further here
than
anywhere else. Well, no, I wouldn't say anywhere else, but they go further here.
No, I see. I think the reason I was asking is because, some people do read up a little bit about Brazil before they come here, or they like the music, or, you just had a very practical approach.
Well, I had been here 3 times before that family cruise in 2004. But I think Carnival kind of like blew me away.
When was your first Carnival?
2004.
Oh, I see. When you got here. I thought you had been to one before. So when you got here, you get to Rio. By the way, guys, look at this. I got some pictures of this man right here. Look at that guy. Look at that handsome man right there. So this picture here where you're in your Bermudas. This is 2004?
Yeah, that's 2004.
All right. So yeah, you said you didn't know anything about Brazil, and I believe you because you look like me. Although I think I was worse because I had boots on too, but at least you had shorts on.
Yeah, but they were like heavy hiking shorts, I had socks on, desert boots on the beach.
I know, but what was your thinking there?
I didn't know anything about beach culture.
Oh my God. And so you decide, you love the carnival, you love the people here are nice, and you stayed in what part of Rio?
I stayed on Barata Ribeira in Copacabana.
I know the Copacabana region. Actually, that's the one part of Rio that I don't mind so much. I kind of like Copacabana a little bit. But what drew you to the city, and how was it different now than maybe it was then? Because my sister, guys that are fans of the show, I might have told this story. She ran away from home when she was like 18 for here from São Paulo to Rio. She loves Rio. She lives in Miami now, which is like kind of like America's version of Rio. And she comes back and sometimes she's like, man, it's not like how it used to be. It's changed a lot, a little bit more dangerous, a little bit dirtier, a little bit this. So I was kind of curious how Rio was at the time that you arrived, 2004, and maybe if you've been back, comparison.
I'd like to visit Rio. I wouldn't live there again.
Why not?
But There's nothing to do.
What do you mean there's nothing to do?
I mean, what you did, I mean, it's only a few tourist attractions there. But maybe, I don't know. Then I'll go for a week, and then I'm ready to come back to Salvador. Salvador is just, it's one of a kind.
Salvador.
But now Salvador is getting very dangerous. I mean, all of the gangs from Rio are moving up here to Salvador.
Oh no, you gotta go up. You gotta go up north a little bit.
Not too much where I live, but there's pockets around the city with these gang rivals.
I see. But how long did you stay in Rio? Because we're kind of giving spoilers here. You do end up in Salvador, but how long did you stay in Rio before you moved up to Salvador?
For a year.
Oh, so you only stayed a short time. Okay, I thought you had stayed longer.
No.
And when you were down here, did you find it easy to make friends? Did you build any real strong bonds with anybody down here in that first year?
Well, yeah. I met this woman in California. Her family lived in Rio.
Uh-huh.
And so when I came to Rio, she hooked me up with her family. So they kind of took care of me. And I brought my youngest son with me. He was here with me for the first 6 months.
Mm.
We came together.
Is this your son here? One of these guys?
Well, that's 3. I'm not sure which one you're looking at.
I don't know. Which one is your son?
I think he's the one. He's the one in the bottom of the photo.
Oh, bottom right.
You got the photo with me and my 3 sons. He's at the bottom. He's at the bottom.
Out the bottom right, the oldest.
No, I mean on the photograph. He's the youngest one is at the bottom of the photo.
Yeah, but there's 2 at the bottom. Bottom right or bottom left? There's a darker skin one and a lighter skin one.
He would probably be the darker one.
Okay, cool. So he
kind of Hawaiian eyes.
Okay, so he was here with you in that first year? You brought him with you?
Not on the cruise, but when I came back and moved here in October, he came with me.
Oh, cool. And what were some of those, was there any type of culture shock? Were you a single dad or were you married at the time?
Oh, I was single.
Okay, so single dad in Rio with a child. How was that experience?
Well, he wasn't a child. He was, Brandon must have been 20.
Oh, okay. Sorry, because when you said young, I thought he was like a baby. Okay. All right, so he was older already. But, how quick did it take for you guys to acclimate? Did you acclimate quickly? How did that work?
Yeah, we started taking Portuguese classes, and I had another friend from California who moved here as well to Rio, and so we had a little, kind of a little network there, along with my, which I put there, my family now who lives in Rio that took care of me while I was there.
See, that's cool that you're saying this, and the reason why I'm asking, and guys, I apologize because audio is kind of difficult right now, and I'm also trying to figure out what's going on with Pete. So now he says he's backstage, so forgive me if I missed a few things here. Oh, and there's that bad feedback. Let me mute that while I say something to you, the audience. Oh, okay. Which is this, guys. The reason why I'm asking Anthony these questions about, how easy was it to acclimate, how long did it take, blah, 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 is because it is a real experience coming down here when you're not vacationing, when you're really trying to live down here. and it will kind of give you a little bit of culture shock. If you're not ready for it, it'll really shock you. And so I'm just kind of letting you know some of the things that expats do to make it through that. And one of them is having a network. Like if you come down here by yourself, if you're coming down here by yourself to vacation, okay. But if you're coming down here to actually live,
what did you say?
uh, I'm saying a whole lot of stuff. That's why I'm trying to put it on mute so that it doesn't give feedback. But I'm just saying to the audience, Anthony. Let me keep the phone as far away from me as possible. Is that you got to have a network if you come down. It's really good if you have a network. And nowadays with the internet, oh no, I got to turn this down. Sorry, Anthony. It's impossible to talk. And now with the internet, guys, there's a lot of Facebook groups. We have a group for Black expats that is really cool. This show is kind of built for that. So you guys have a network so you don't come down here alone trying to live in Brazil. It is rough, guys. I mean, that's rough to do in any country, but Brazil especially. So that's why I'm kind of focused, on that with Anthony. So, Anthony, that was kind of the focus of that. But let's skip to Salvador because Salvador is so much more interesting. I mean, what made you leave Rio, first of all? And then let's talk Salvador.
Well, the apartment that I was renting in Copacabana, it was owned by an American, and he wanted to sell it. So I was talking to my family there in Rio, and so they said, well, you might want to go to Salvador before you lock your money in here in Rio. And I said, Salvador? What's that? Never heard of it. So one weekend, me and my son caught the bus from Rio to Salvador, which was about a day and a half trip. And then got here to Salvador, and the same amount of money that I was going to spend for this one bedroom. And it was, the street, this is where all the buses came down. You only really got about 4 hours of silence.
Mm.
You'd have to be up really loud to even hear, the buses. And it was just really noisy. So anyway, the same amount of money that I was going to spend for the one bedroom in Rio, I bought a 5-bedroom here in Salvador. Actually, a little bit less. So that was how that started.
And you said you only stayed a year, so 2005, more or less?
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Somebody here, Anthony, and maybe you could answer this while you're talking about how you started out in Salvador. But one of the listeners asked, this is a Life Is. Thank you, Life Is. Very active on the channel. These last couple, episodes. So thank you for checking in. And Life Is asked, what are areas in Salvador do you recommend for a 2-week vacation or an extended stay? Listen, I'll let Anthony answer that real quick before he gets back to his story, and I'll give you my answer, and then we're going to give it back to Anthony's story. So, Anthony, if somebody's coming here, 2-week, short stay, where do you recommend?
Well, I would recommend Baja.
Yeah, I would say the same.
That's where the tourists, it's an international, more of a setting. The waiters will speak English. You won't have to be struggling too much with Portuguese.
Cool.
There's really other beautiful areas other than Baja, but if you're just going to be a tourist for 2 weeks, I would recommend Baja.
Yeah, and and Anthony, what about for a long stay?
Well, it depends on how adept you are to the language and the culture. If you speak Portuguese, there's a lot of nice places that you can stay here for long stays. If you don't speak Portuguese, you're going to feel kind of isolated if you leave out of the tourist area.
Yeah, I think that's for everywhere in Brazil, guys. I give the same advice. Last week, Anthony, we had a show about cities to live in outside of the capital of São Paulo, which are beautiful. Like the countryside of São Paulo is gorgeous. But one of the things we didn't really talk about that much is that this is for like more expert level, expat that's been here a while. Like I wouldn't recommend moving to any of these little cities outside São Paulo. If you're just getting here, you don't speak a lot of Portuguese. I mean, you might be all right, but it might be a little harder at times, for reasons Anthony just said, not so many people speak English primarily. Sometimes the infrastructure is not as good, blah, blah, blah. So, Anthony, it's starting to feedback a little bit. So, I'm going to ask you the next question and give you the floor, which is let us know what made you fall in love with Salvador if it's not obvious because it's beautiful. But I want your first impressions and what made you say, other than the money, why do I want to stay in this place?
Oh, wow. I think it was more of spiritual. It was there's some like in the area that I live in, you can hear. I had this like a breakthrough one night. Me and my son was visiting a friend out where I live now, and I was listening. All the kids were playing in the streets, and the laughter was echoing all over the hills and valleys of the neighborhood. And I started crying. And it was just like a moment, so nostalgic. Even now, it's like a step back in time. I was walking my dog the other day and went up to the park. And these kids here, which they still do, I don't know if they do it out there, but they still fly kites.
Yes.
They have their home kites, and they go out. And I'm just sitting there reminding me of the 50s when I was growing up. And the way they just, they'll just play soccer in the streets, And it's just so different than if you would go to the United States and how the kids, not to say that they don't have cell phones, and play video games on that, but it's so nostalgic here. I mean, there's nothing like on the weekends to see 4 or 5 guys riding their horses up and down the street.
Yeah.
It's just this whole this whole diversity of different things, and the beaches here, they're hands down all across. Everybody will tell you the beaches here just are. The water's warm almost year round. It's clear. You can see all the way to the bottom, And then we have 56 islands here in Salvador, the Bay of All Saints. You can do an island trip every day to a different island, have lunch there, and catch the boat back. It's just so many things. And then not to mention, the African culture. Not that I have anything. It's just white folks. So I want to put that stated because, my kids are half white. But you can go. I can go all day long without seeing a white person if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And I like being around people of color. I guess I could say. I love everybody. I want to appear as a racist or anything like that. But now, there is one thing though. I thought that Brazil was not racist when I moved here, and that was one thing that I learned in time, that it's classist and it is very racist.
Well, Anthony, I want you to hold that thought because we're going to talk a little bit about some of the hard times that you've had here. So definitely you can talk at length about this. And guys, we just did this show, 2 weeks ago about prejudice in Brazil. And people were asking, what place do you think is more racist? What place do you think is more racist? Anthony just, boom, he proved what we were talking about 2 weeks ago. If you ask most black folks that are not from here, what country is more racist, they'll say Brazil usually, or that has a high level of it. But Anthony, I got a message from you before you go on. I got a message from you. I'm going to try to make you guess who said it. It says, "Hey, Anthony and Phil. I remember that lovely apartment in Canela that Anthony bought. Estlon House in Baja, too. You had some nice parties back in those days." Who said that to Anthony? I don't know. This has turned into This Is Your Life. He's a gentleman that I love too. He's been on the show. He's lived in Recife, but he's also, I think he's lived in Rio. I don't remember, but I think of him more as a Recife guy. He's a baker. Make some great cookies, man. Best cookies ever. Good Lord. And do you know? And I think he's a country boy, if I recall. He's got that little bit of a country way of talking, real laid back. Who is that? You know?
I don't know. Who is it?
Brian Wilson.
Oh, Brian. Brian was just here recently, not too long ago, visiting with me. Hey,
Right.
Brian.
All right, there you go. He just said hi. I don't know where are you at right now, Brian? Give us a GPS ping so we know where you are. So yeah, he says hi. And everything you said about Salvador is so true. It's hard to find people that don't like it. I have met a few people that went there and were like, this is not for me. And that's fine, guys. Not everything's for everybody. But for the people that love it, it usually comes down to like, it's an emotional thing, a real spiritual thing. I can't describe it either, but it's close to what Anthony said. You go there and you're like, ooh, I feel like I just got home. Especially if you are Afro-descendant person of color, you're going to connect because it's the roots there deep, man. You feel like the things like really earth moving. And what you said about the ocean, yeah, I'm not a big sea guy, but I really love the oceans there. They're very powerful, powerful waves, very dark water in some places that I like. I like that kind of ocean, kind of moody. But Anthony, oh, and of course the people, right? Beautiful people, gorgeous people. But Anthony, let me ask you though, because we're talking about the paradise side of it all. What were some of the hard times that you had, adjusting? Because you've been here for a long time. First off, wait, let's make this a two-part question. First off, you have the decision to stay, right? But then do you think that there's like a second decision? Because I'm kind of coming to this conclusion that I decided to stay, and now I've decided to really stay, like kind of like I might die in Brazil stay, which I think is a second decision. Like, did it all come at once for you, or did you, like, after 5 years be like, hmm. And then talk about some of the hardships, some of the things that were a little bit tougher for you.
Let's see. After I bought my apartment in Canela, I went and I got a student visa.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and I sold my home in California and transferred all the money here to Brazil. So that money lasted for a while, but I made some bad investments, and I had an internet cafe for 3 years. That was the money drain. So like I want to say the downside of my early life here was not investigating a lot of things, like the purchase of my apartment. It was sold to me fraudulently. So ended up happening. My student visa ran out, and I was afraid to leave my apartment unattended for fear of it being sold when I was in the States.
Oh, wow.
So I was in the country illegally for like 5 years. So that was always something hanging over my head.
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't sell because it took me that long. The reason I was there for that long period of time is because I couldn't get the documents put into my name so that I could sell it. My plan originally was to flip it. I was going to buy it, remodel it, and flip it, and do that again with another place, and do it again with another. That's what my plan was, and I got stuck in this fraudulent transaction because I didn't know Portuguese that well, and the seller and the real estate agent was working against me, behind my back, getting all the money that they could have. So that was a really bad time for me because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sell it. My money in the bank was going down until it was depleted down to zero. So I had to wait. My whole thing was just to hold on until I started getting my retirement benefit. So that's what it did. I did everything that I could do to stay here, until I started getting my retirement benefit. Now, when that started kicking in, then things changed.
That's crazy, that story. And it's so cool that you told it because, I don't know, I get a sense that sometimes, especially with some younger YouTubers, whatever, I don't want to talk too much about other people, but ooh, I just choked on a piece of rice. Good Lord. Anyway, see, that's what I get for talking about. I was about to throw some shade. But sometimes the expat life is glamorized, like more than it should be. It's not to say that you can't have a glamorous, wonderful life, and you maybe should even try for it, when you go to another country, especially a country as rich and beautiful in culture as Brazil. It's great to live like the life down here, but it's not glamorous all the time. It's like a real life, I've had Rod on the channel. Oh, sorry guys. Rod on the channel. It was like the second guest. So if you want to go back to the second show, he's in Rio. I want to get him back on. Lovely dude. He talked about on the podcast how he slept on floors of little cubicle sized apartments sometimes, until he finally got his shit together. Brazil is not an easy country. I'm going through my ups and downs right now. I'm going through kind of a down, like I talked about it already on the podcast, kind of a planned demolition, which is affecting me financially, to shift into other areas. But I've been down to zero. I've been past zero, Anthony. But we make it. And that's the thing when you're down here, like part of Brazil, which I like, Anthony, is that it is a hustler's country. So if you know how to hustle, you can kind of get your shit together down here, but it's a hustler's country, man, and you got to really come in with that attitude, I think, if you're going to stay long term. Which leads me to, talk a little bit about, did you feel racism down here? Like, how did that go? Because I want to get into your house because it seems like you're really stable now in this house. But what was that all about?
Well, I personally experienced it when I was living in Victoria, Espírito Santo. Here in Salvador, I read more on the news about people shopping and department store that being followed around, and it's like I said, it's races and classes. If you have enough money, you can float in any circle you want to. Nobody's going to say anything. If you go into an extremely fancy restaurant and you got the money up in there, they're going to serve you, because you got money. But yet still, you could go into, like if you go like to the new area, New Salvador, mostly, all the high rises and condos and everything out there. You can people look, can kind of, even though in Salvador, they'll still look at what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Or you must be part of a hired help. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so intertwined. And I'm asking you this too because somebody left in the comments because we were talking about, all these types of social mouths that Brazil has, or males. How do you pronounce that word? Male. And one of them is racism. And somebody asked, well, what about in Bahia? Because Bahia is the country with the most amount of, Afro descendants. Well, it's still there. If you get to the higher echelon, a mutual friend of ours, she worked at a private school there, and all the kids were white at the school, basically. Or I don't want to say that. Let's say I've heard of teachers who work in private schools, because maybe it wasn't exactly her school, but I know of teachers that work in private schools there, and it's just white kids, and you're like, how did that happen? Anyway. Moving on to this beautiful home. My dear, I have been in it, okay? And it is a story. So I want to get into this house. And actually, can you give us a little bit of background? Because, like, what do you do? I mean, other than just, like, everything. But, like, yeah, like, what have you done to keep yourself afloat in Brazil for so long? Before retirement came.
Oh, before retirement kicked in. Okay. I had, a friend of mine had a postada, and I managed that for about 3 or 4 years. And that's way out there by the airport. It was Brian has been out there to Russell's house. So I would make tours and have a group in. We had a website, and so I was busy doing that for about probably about 4 years. He paid me a monthly salary in U.S. dollars. So that's how I was able to keep afloat during those times. And then also I would rent out my apartment in Canela. That created an income. But like you said, you just hustle.
Yeah, and try to save, which is not always easy here in Brazil. But once you start getting into the economics of it, I gotta have Jeff on talk some economics with y'all because there's some interesting things happening here if you save up some money, which is, like I said, not the easiest thing to do because the economy is here so up and down. Anthony, Brian said that he's in a tiny town in Bahia called Governador Mangabeira, living on a farm. Anthony is so spot on about the learning curve and challenges of buying property. We are often targeted, for sure. Well, speaking of property, guys, let's talk about this home here that Anthony, I mean, you built this house, right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
well, at first I bought. It was a three bedroom house on the first level. I bought that for my boyfriend at that time, for him and his sister. And since he is in the trade of Padero, he got his cousin and we fixed it all up and everything like that. And there was a little, where my kitchen area is now, just that part, that was a little studio that I would stay in when I would come out here to visit. After I sold my apartment and everything and left and living in Victoria and made my rounds and came back, I didn't want to live in an apartment anymore. So I said, well, since I own the house downstairs, I'll just build my house on top of that one.
Gotcha.
So That's how that got started.
Up, up, up. He's the king of the hill, guys.
Yeah,
How many
yeah, the
stories in
best.
this house?
That was the best decision because I don't have no mortgage. I don't have no condo fees. All I have to pay for is my internet. I got a well. I don't even pay for water and electricity.
Wonderful. But
So my monthly bills is probably around $200 a month. Well,
this is great. But building this, so you had to get some contractors up in there. Was that complex, or did that go smoothly?
well, no, he built it. Boys is in his cousins, and one would do electricity. He had a professional, knew how to do that. One would know how to lay walls and bricks. And first of all, I had to end up tearing the house downstairs out to post all of the pillars to support the weight of this house. So once that house was rebuilt downstairs, then we moved up and started creating this place. It took a while. It wasn't done all at once. It took about 2 years. I work on it a little bit, and stop, and work on a little bit and stop, kind of go back and forth.
And the decoration here is all you. And you do some artwork, right?
Yeah. Some of my art. I don't know if it's on any of those pictures, but yeah.
I think I see it. Some of these might be yours. Is this your painting here?
The one over the couch. Over the couch. I did that one, the red and black one.
Okay, I see it. I'm looking at it. Oh, you can't see us because you're not in the studio. So I'm showing a picture of me, you, and our friend. And then now I got a picture of me and you up here on the balcony, which is real nice, at the very top. And I got a picture of a girl in a green dress. Is that one that you painted?
No, that's a print.
Okay, that's a print. And then there's one of the two gentlemen kissing, and I think that's it with the child. That's a print. I've seen that one before. That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So guys,
grandfather, son, and grandson.
Oh, ooh, I looked at that completely different because, oh man, look at that. I have a friend that has a black is oh there you go. I'm sending you a screenshot that has like a Black Beauty type of Instagram page with a lot of artwork, and some of it will have kind of same sex families too. So I think I had that in my mind because they're very similar, the style of the paintings. But that's beautiful. So Anthony, in this home, is this like your greatest achievement down here? What are your greatest achievements in Brazil?
Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess you can say, carving out my place where I'm going to, retire, and those. Yeah, I mean, everything is where it's supposed to be.
Pretty much. And how do you feel about retiring in Brazil, slowing down in Brazil? If you were slowed down at all?
Well, I mean, for me, it's for me, it's perfect. It was the best choice I ever made in my life to retire here.
And what is do you have a good support network now that you're older? Just a little.
Yeah, my kids downstairs, they've adopted me as their grandfather. Yeah. So putting my grandson through English school, watching him grow up. He's 17.
Cool.
And Priscilla is 13.
Cool.
and Moises and his wife. So I have a support structure downstairs. As I get older, I know Yvonne will take care of me. A built-in, care service as you get older.
This is so important when you're down here. Like a couple weeks ago, I went to a wedding, my little brother, but it's a little brother of a family that adopted me pretty much as them. And this happens to so many expats, guys. Like, we just have these families that adopt us for whatever reason. Either we help them in a time of need or they helped us in a time of need, but these people become your people. And it's like I'm feeling old because now he just got married, but he's been with this girl since forever. I'm so happy for them. I think they met when they were like 16 or 17. They're like high school sweethearts. And now they're married. I'm like, good Lord. Pretty soon I'm going to be a grandfather. But these are the people that matter. When you're down here, guys, you start to make a network with Brazilians. They're the ones that will eventually take care of you. I know it's tough sometimes befriending Brazilians. Somebody, Anthony, was asking in the comments, I think it was actually Life Is, the first person that commented about relationships and friendships. Like, how complex was that for you? Like, what's the short version?
Well, I think you have to have your eyes open. Because you want to know what is the motive of the person that wants to befriend you.
This is so important.
And I have just had, it's all about money. Eventually, maybe not right away, but they'll wait until the time is right. They analyze everything. They analyze, if they're coming to your home, they're looking around. They can canvas everything within nanoseconds of everything that's in your house.
Yes.
So you just have to be aware of that people are, they first of all, they think Americans are rich. We shit money out our ass, which is not true. And, it's this that they think that you always have money, and now they'll always, can you loan me this? Can you loan me that? I have so much money in the street now, I can't see straight. I can stop loaning money. People ask for money, I say I don't have it. Because unless I decide that I'm going to give it to you, and I'll just give it to you. Don't worry about paying me back, because I know you're not.
This is, wow, you describe my life sometimes. Because, yeah, guys, people are just going to assume, like, if you have but the thing is this, Anthony, is because you and I, like, we're not, well, I don't know your financial situation. I'm not a millionaire. Let's talk about me. I'm not a millionaire. I don't have, like, a lot of dispendable income. I have enough to survive. I live comfortably. I have enough to save, but I'm not rich by any means. But the little that I have, for somebody that's the average Brazilian, is a lot. The average Brazilian is not going to see, like, a salary with 4 digits in it very often. I mean, maybe 1,000, 2,000, but nothing beyond that. Like, that's very uncommon. Like, I've told you guys, I've gone to this site called Nexus, and they used to be free, and then they put a lock on it, and I think now it's free again. So maybe I'll show you guys on another episode. And you put in your salary, and even if I put in, like, just a hypothetical salary of like 4,000 reais per month, I'm damn near like a 1%er here in the city of São Paulo, which is the richest city in South America. It's not like a little shabby city. Like, for example, Salvador, things are cheaper there. It's not one of the, it's not as rich of a city as São Paulo. Things are, that's why it's cheaper to get stuff there. But you compare it to São Paulo, and I'm like a 1%er with 4,000? That's crazy. What were you saying? Tell me, Anthony. Go ahead. Oh, I thought you were speaking, but anyway.
Oh,
Go
yeah, no,
ahead.
I was just saying food in Salvador is expensive, more so than Sao Paulo.
Oh, food.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're the tourists. They drive up the prices for food, man. But it's worth every penny. Good Lord. Like, yeah, if anybody listened to my podcast on my trip to Salvador, it was definitely not adults only. Let's put it that way, and a lot of food. 'Cause it's just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful place. I had a very good time. Lovely people. Anyway, Anthony, I think we're getting to the end here. Okay, but before we get there, I want to get something here. Let me see if I can do this correctly because I haven't done it in a while. Cool. See that music? All right, that music means we are going to play the Brazil Expat Challenge, which we haven't done in a while because we haven't had, you know, a virgin on the show in a while. So here we go. First timers have to do the quiz. Are you ready, Anthony?
Yes, yes, yes.
All right. If you fail this quiz, man, we kick you out of Brazil. You got to live in Trump's America if you fail this quiz. We import you instead of export you. So do well on this quiz. Question number 1. Best thing about Brazil?
The best thing about I don't want to even answer that question.
Come on.
Well, the best thing about Brazil for me right now is the exchange rate.
Listen, I ain't mad at you. Like I said, I have a good brother who's teaching me how to get into investing and all this stuff. And I am happy about that exchange rate too. So I am not hating on you at all. 2, worst thing about Brazil?
Well, I would say I can't speak of all of Brazil, but here in Salvador, I would say respect. It's the lack of respect. It's the me generation, me first. You know, that's like on the news, which happens all the time. On Monday mornings, man, we got these beautiful beaches, and every Monday morning, man, they are so trashed with Heineken bottles littering up the thing, all of the the coastline. And they got workers out there cleaning it up on Monday mornings, but we got these beautiful beaches, and they're so disrespected that they come out there and they just trash them. They just don't take care of things. They don't try to keep things clean. We have brand new parks and things like that they do for the community. Within a year, they're trashed out. It's just lack of respect. That's my complaint.
I feel you. All right. I totally feel you with that. I didn't feel it was that bad when I was there, but I was only there for like 2 weeks, so you would know better. But compared to São Paulo, it was like heavenly as far as that respect side and cleanliness. Right.
Next.
I'm trying to get there. Favorite Brazilian food? Did you get it? Favorite Brazilian?
I would say I would kind of say, well, moqueca or ensopada.
Oh, ensopada is?
Yeah, lobster, which we had at the restaurant, the lobster.
Oh, that was great.
Moqueca.
Yeah. Oh, I had that video prepped here to show.
Oh, yeah, let's not forget fried fish, the fried fish. That's one of my favorites.
What is it?
Fried fish.
Yes.
You You probably didn't have it over here, but we have this redfish, vermilion. That is so good.
Oh,
That's
yes, the redfish. I'm going to show, just a second here, Anthony. I'm going to show this beautiful dish here. Guys, look at the screen really quickly while I show you this. And then we'll get right back to our quiz and finish out the night because it is late. But look at this, guys. This is what Anthony's talking about right there. Damn, they sent the whole damn lobster. But all right, we're going to fuck with this shit. Excuse the bad. Well, actually, I got a couple shots here of the neighborhood. There you go. So yeah, guys, that lobster was delicious. So thank you so much for taking us there to eat. I'm with Tony again, Darren again, and this is my last big meal in Salvador in this beautiful place. Look at this, it's gorgeous. And this is Bahia. We love it. Salvador. I'm with Tony again. That was that. So, guys, what's your least favorite Brazilian food, Anthony?
They have, well, I don't know, I've never tasted it, but they have this, I think it's called Bocato or something like that. You kind of eat it if you have a hangover. And it's pig and hooves and all this kind of, but I would assume that I don't like it. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. Moscato, you said?
I think it's Mocato. Brian will probably know because Brian is a chef.
Moscato.
That would be it. And let's not forget, in terms of favorite, acarajé. I love acarajé. That's the African muffin, the shrimp and salad and batata on the inside.
It's funny how all your favorite fruits are from Bahia. Is that a coincidence? I'm joking with you. But I don't see this other food you're talking about. How do you spell it again? Try it one more time. M-A.
Macato. Maybe it's M-A-C-O-T-O. Probably M-A-C-O-T-O.
Mocata. Oh, I see. Mocata. There's like Mocata gelato, moçada. I don't know. Not sure what that is, but I'll try to find out, guys, because now I'm curious. But I cannot get it. Anyway, let's go. Favorite drink in Brazil?
Well, I don't know if it's a Brazilian drink, but I like whiskey and amarula. Amarula is a coffee liquor from Africa, so that's not really Brazilian. That's normally what I drink.
No, but what do you like to drink down here?
It's like a white Russian, only with whiskey.
No, I know, but what do you like to drink from down here? You like a caipirinha? Do you like a batida?
I used to like caipirinhas, but I'm not a caipirinha fan anymore. Now and then I'll order one, but I'm not really big on that.
Cool.
But straight whiskey guy, 2 fingers whiskey with ice. I'm satisfied.
I'm with you. I love me some whiskey. I don't like it with ice, but I love whiskey. But what about any? A lot of people here love the juices. You know, because when I asked this question, I forgot to tell you, it could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic, and a lot of people love the juices in Brazil, and I agree, they're so delicious.
Well, I usually do a lot of fresh juices. I like pitaya, P-I-T-A-Y-A, the fruit.
Yes.
Very, very good. A lot of antioxidants. I'll make juice with that. I make juice with mango, fresh mangoes. fresh orange juice. Even though the oranges are green, they're really sweet from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have another kind of juice. Strawberries. If you have a restaurant that makes fresh strawberry juice, that's very good here.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of good fruit down here. What's the best place you have visited in Brazil, Anthony?
I don't know. Best, what makes it best? That's kind of a hard question.
Just for you. What's the place you connected with the most?
The best place that I visited here? Really, I don't know. I went to an Echo Resort last weekend. That's up north in the place called Embaçaí. I think you went to Embaçaí with Wandy, didn't you?
No.
Okay. Anyway, it was Echo Resort, and it was very, very nice. Some friends of mine own it, and it was very nice. Just empty beaches, very non-touristy, lots of different restaurants around. You go out there and do whale watching. I hadn't been out there in a long time, but that's very nice.
Send that to me later so I can put that in the comments. Somebody here asked, by the way, there's some folks listening in. How did Anthony learn Portuguese? Did he struggle with the Bahian accents? I've heard that, yeah.
Well, that's everywhere you go, you'll get told if you learn Portuguese, Cariocas, they speak Portuguese better than San Paulistas. And Paulistas say, well, if you learn Portuguese in Bahia, you're never going to speak Portuguese correctly. Baianos say, no, we are the original speakers of Portuguese. So anyway, I went to two universities. I went to the Federal University here for the 4 semesters. And then when I went to Victoria, I went to the Federal University there just to take the last 2 courses over again, the reading and writing and conversation. So that's how I learned my Portuguese. So learning Portuguese at a university, like for instance, if I'm out here where I am now and I would speak Portuguese as I learned it at the university, they would say, oh, you sound like a white person, because, I say the full sentence. And eu estou aqui, a Baiana would just say, estou aqui. Well, what happened to the AO and the stove? They just cut the words off.
Yes.
But still, there's still words. The language is still difficult. It's one of the most difficult languages to learn. Portuguese is.
It is, but I like how it's flexible, and Brazilians kind of just ride with you if they see you're trying to make an effort. Like they'll figure out some way to understand you. And Anthony, you speak well Portuguese. And Anthony, you got like the way you speak in Portuguese is like you got like some real like swagger. Like I don't know, you're like you cut people.
Big in the hood, big in the hood.
I know, because I was surprised because when you're speaking English, you're all like chilled out, and then Portuguese like, yo, yeah, I was like, what? Oh, cara, você tá fazendo aqui? Abre a porta. I was like, damn. You switched up. You switched up in Portuguese, but for me, that was when I felt I really started to. Because guys, I was born here. I grew up in the U.S. So I spoke Portuguese at home. But it's like Portuguese you speak at home with your parents. It's like, get home before 10, wash the dishes. Like, you're not having heavy conversations with your parents in Portuguese, or I wasn't. So when I came here, I really had a learning curve with Portuguese. And I was like, Anthony was saying, like, I would speak it like university level. I'd speak it all correct. And then I started meeting more people here from the hood and everything. I was like, oh, this is how like actual Portuguese, Brazilians speak, like this with the slang and that. And it just freed me up. And when I got pissed, the first time I got pissed at somebody and I was able to curse them out in Portuguese, I was like, yes, it's coming. Uh, Guys, let's go, because we do want to get out of here. We got a few more questions, but thank you for your question. Life is, and yes, he said, or she, he or she, I don't know who they are, that when they come here, they need to try a vaca atolada. Let me ask you, Mr. McGrue, what do you believe is the most overrated location or thing in Brazil? Most overrated. People talk about it too much, but it's like, yeah, it's okay. It's not that great.
Overrated what? Vacation?
Location or thing?
Oh, overrated location.
Yes.
I might say Rio.
You might be right. So many people say Rio for this question. So why do you say Rio? Oh, I didn't even want to ask that.
I mean, like I said before, it's not too much to do there. I mean, what you do, the Statue of Christ, you do the art district in Alpha Teresa, then you do the Sugarloaf. Then what?
then you do the Cariocas.
Then what?
But even that gets old. Even that gets old. Sorry, Cariocas. Not the best time I've had, Anyway, that's when I have Renee on. That's when we talk about sex in Brazil, guys. Let's go to the next question. Best place to chill in Salvador?
In Salvador?
Mm-hmm. Best place to hang out.
Other than my home?
I feel it.
In Salvador, I would say, like the area out by the airport where the sand dunes are. That's a nice area.
Cool.
All these white sand dunes. It's a Pua is the name of the neighborhood.
Oh, we got a friend that lives there. Oh, sorry guys for the audio bugs tonight. But a friend of ours, Elisa. I don't know. Have you met Elisa? She's a wonderful woman, but she's one of my really lovely friends, and she lives in Itapuã.
The singer?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I know Elisa. We know each other.
Cool.
She's been here to my home.
Okay. Yeah, she lives in Itapuã.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of singers, what's your favorite Brazilian musician or band?
My favorite. Well, God, that's. Well, I guess one of my favorite singers, all time favorites, would be Alcione.
Oh, really great. Ooh, excuse me.
And then we talk about bands. I would say Black Rio Band is one of them, and
Raça Negra, which is they do like a samba reggae sound, Raça Negra. Yeah. I've heard them. And last question, word of advice for future visitors to the country?
Word of advice? Try to. I won't say be proficient in Portuguese, but try to study the language before you get here. Just Rosetta Stone or something like that, or Duolingo or something like that. Try to brush up on the language.
And why do you say
But I know
that?
with all these apps now, you can just talk in your language and they hear it in theirs. So I don't know.
Yeah, but why do you say this about the language? Why?
Well, because if you go to a country and you don't know the language, you just all of a sudden you have stifled yourself. You can't even ask for directions if you have an emergency. You can't say anything. It's just. I mean, you can probably uh, get away with it in large cities like São Paulo and Rio, and now in the tourist district of Salvador, you don't really have to know. But you for your own safety, you need to know what people are saying around you. You don't know if somebody on the next table saying in their language, as soon as this motherfucker gets up, we go rob him. You have no idea.
Mm-hmm. I
would say it's good safety precaution if nothing else.
No, I totally agree with you. And I was asking you why, because some people don't seem to get it. They just come down here and they don't learn a lick of Portuguese and they become completely dependent on others. And yeah, that you limit yourself. And that's another thing is that you end up limiting your experience. Yeah, Anthony, because you're just stuck in Baja, which is a nice neighborhood. I loved it there, but I I neighborhood hopped so much when I was in Salvador. I think I ended up in like 5 different neighborhoods in like 3 different cities, maybe 4 different cities. Because I went to Monte Gordo, where Wande lives, Largo de Freitas. She took me to Guarabara, something like that. I can't remember. And then I went to Praia do Forte. So I went to Salvador and I ended up in 4 cities and like five different neighborhoods. Folks, Portuguese. Speak the language. It'll get you places.
Family members who want to come and visit. I used to entertain. I don't entertain guests anymore or have people come here. It's too much. If they want to come here to be for a week, even if they get an Airbnb in Baja, you got to be with them every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can't even order a meal. They don't know where to go. You got to translate. It's too much. I don't really. I discourage people. Well, you can come, and I'll just say, well, let's have lunch. But I'm not going to be babysitting or anything like that.
I feel you. Anyway, that's about it, sir. I'm glad you came on.
Let me get up here and try to get some rest. I'm still dealing with this stomach issue. It's getting better, though. I should supposed to be a little bit better tomorrow morning.
Was it something you ate, you think?
I don't really know. It actually feels like I pulled a muscle in my stomach area. Like, I kind of feel like I've been doing push-ups for the first time. And, the next day when your stomach muscles hurt, that's what it's feel like. But it's calming down and subsiding,
Well, actually,
a lot better right now than I did earlier. I was in bed all day.
Oh my. Well, actually, I want to ask you something before we go, because you brought that up, because I had forgotten about your stomach issue. Because I do get a lot of stomach issues down here too, guys. You got to take some medicine sometimes here, but I don't know what's going on with Anthony. But Anthony, how is it as far as healthcare there? Like, is it okay for you?
In terms of healthcare?
Yeah.
I have a health plan.
Oh, cool.
And then I also use the SUS plan too for maintenance.
Cool.
Yeah, I have a health plan. Instead of when you're on Social Security, they automatically deduct about $300 out of your Social Security check for Medicare Plan B. So what I did, I stopped that deduction and use that money to pay for a monthly payment on a health plan here.
Smart. Guys, that's it. I just, he had brought up the stomach issue, which I had forgotten about, and I just thought about healthcare. That's something you got to consider too if you are doing long stays. This, here in Brazil. Guys, I apologize for the audio tonight. It's kind of been a fun ride. If I missed anything, if I sounded like I didn't hear anything, it's probably because I didn't. But in the end, we kind of understood. We did it the Brazilian way, Anthony. Like, this is the jeitinho brasileiro. If you guys could see me, I'm holding the microphone up to the ceiling, keeping it as far away from myself as possible so I don't get any feedback. And then when Anthony starts talking, I swing the phone back up close to the computer. It's crazy, but it was fun. This is how I like it. I like it fun like this. So I hope you had fun, Anthony.
Okay, well, you have a good evening. Say hello. Okay, bye, Brian.
Bye, everybody. Bye, Life Is. Bye, Zero to Hero that came in a little bit late. But he said he's watching from the beginning. And listen to your intro. I introed you. And I was on mute. I feel so bad, but I did give you a nice intro. Anyway, guys, that's what's happening. Anthony, I'm going to hang up on you, but I'm going to say goodnight to you after I get off. I'm just going to say goodbye here to the crowd. Okay? So, bye-bye. Guys, what a wild BJ today. Today was all over the place, BJ. Anthony, thank you for coming on. I just cut him off, guys, because it was getting like really impossible to talk. Like every time I said something, you could hear that. But I got my outro. And I just want to say thank you, everyone who listened to the Brazil Expat Journal tonight. Next week, we're going to get another brother in here who lives in one of those cities that I talked about last week. So look at that. We're getting like narratives going here. It's like you got to, like the X-Files, you got to watch every episode for it to make sense. Anyway, love you guys. Have a good night. And until next Monday, 10 p.m.-ish, Brazilian time. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel.